Hello everyone, it is Paul back again for another Ace Combat 7 trailer breakdown. After a long drought of information about the game, we finally have a new trailer to pointlessly dissect and discuss frivolously, despite the fact that most of what we say will probably be untrue. But hey, it's kind of fun, so let's go ahead and jump in here. So first things first, we get the Project Aces logo. Now, I'm curious what the symbolism in this logo might be. Perhaps it's supposed to be the interweaving, interconnecting storylines of all these convoluted Ace Combat stories, the anti-war messages symbolized in the multiple sort of four diamonds coming together to make one diamond. Maybe it's the different countries butting up against each other and the conflicts that weaves them all together in a sort of weird fashion and convoluted plot lines that don't always make the most sense when you dissect them all the way. Yeah, so anyway, all kidding aside, first things first, we see the good old F-104 Starfighter taking off out of the sand flats. We've seen this aircraft several times before in Ace Combat 7 trailers, so we know it'll probably play an important role. And we also get asked, does it matter to you what color the sky is, or something like that? I'm kind of rephrasing the question, whatever. Now, here's the thing. It doesn't really matter to me what color the sky is, but it does matter to me what color this plane is, because intriguingly, it does not seem to have any markings on it. If you look closely, we already sort of knew this, but I think this might be more important than we originally calculated. So we know it's probably an Erusian plane, but as mentioned, it doesn't have any distinctive markings, and interestingly, later in the trailer, we see that it gets into a fight with an F-15 and is, apparently anyway, shot down by the F-15. But if we look closely at this F-15, we see that it doesn't have any markings on it either, which is very fascinating. So this leads me to believe that this is somehow related to some kind of test. It might be that these are converted drone fighters engaging each other, or some other sort of weird live fire test. I've seen it suggested that the Erusians might be using prisoner squadrons, so maybe that's what's happening here. I don't know how that would really work. Maybe they have like bombs implanted in their heads, like Suicide Squad? I don't really know. But this would all be sort of consistent with the takeoff from the Sand Flats facility at the start, as Sand Flats are typically associated with aircraft testing places. So yeah. Interesting tidbit there that both of these aircraft do not appear to be marked, though, so that does tell us that they're a little bit out of the ordinary. So next up, we hear that Osea has attacked Farbanti with an aircraft carrier, which shall apparently remain unnamed, and the Kestrel II warship. This is kind of interesting. Now, if I had to guess, the new Kestrel probably still carries aircraft. I doubt it's just like a destroyer or something. That would be kind of lame and disappointing. But it's probably some sort of Ace Combat super weapon, where it's a carrier, but also has a lot of guns or some other special thing, as simulated by this carefully constructed model. Advancing swiftly on, we get a cool map showing us that Erusia has once more conquered basically everything, but if we look in the corner here, we can see a list of satellite IDs, as well as a status that they are all active. This probably has to do with the map later in the trailer, which shows a bunch of satellites getting destroyed. I could see this being taken two ways. One thing might be that Erusia is destroying Osean military satellites, possibly by using the space elevator that they've apparently seized control of, or by repairing Stonehenge. As we know, Stonehenge was meant to shoot down asteroids, so it makes sense that you could also probably use it to shoot down satellites. We do also get a quick teaser of Stonehenge, which may lend itself to this theory. It could also be, though, Erusian satellites getting destroyed, maybe disrupting the drone networks. Either way, it might be something to do with a theme of getting overly reliant on advanced technology and being more dependent on just pilots in cockpits. That's the kind of thing that video games like to pretend is important. So, makes sense that we might have that message shoved at us. Additionally, the second time we see this map, we can clearly see several icons labeled Enemy Air Unit in the corner here. So clearly this is some type of tactical map, probably supported by the satellites. There's a good chance that this might actually be our new briefing screen. That would be kind of cool. Then we hear about how Osea is attacking civilians. This kind of goes with Ace Combat's theme of war making monsters of all of us. And even if our intentions are good from the start, or we're initially the defender, that eventually we're all going to get dragged into doing terrible things. As Chopper might say, no matter who starts it, it always comes to this. And that's what I hate about war, or whatever. I don't know. It's been a while since I played Ace Combat 5. Also, the scientist mentions that it doesn't really matter which side pulled the trigger, which plunged us into this chaos. This could be a reference to trigger being either the player's call sign or possibly the name of the player's squadron. I'm not actually sure whether it's the call sign or the squadron, just looking and hearing the different dialogue that happens in this trailer, and also looking at the squadron logo where it's a dog holding a pistol in its mouth. So you could clearly see that being like a Trigger Squadron logo, but you could also see that being a cool call sign for someone. So I think Trigger could equally be a call sign or a squadron name, as later in the trailer we even hear stick with Trigger and you'll be okay. Basically, that could be a reference to, hang out with this awesome, super good fighter pilot and he'll help you get through the war fine. Or it could be, hey, we're Trigger Squadron, we're the best. If you stick with us and fly with us, you'll be okay. And that would also go along quite well with Ace Combat 7 apparently being more about a sort of ensemble cast as opposed to just a couple of individuals or one character. Additionally, we get a quick glance at some freaky UAV with forward swept wings. This is kind of interesting, but I'm not sure what all to say about it. I guess it's advanced, even though forward swept wings actually don't work that well, so yeah. Maybe the Erusians have found a way of making forward swept wings work, actually. We'll see. Interesting final note here, the Su-30 at the end appears to have the EASA logo on it, which is kind of like Erusian's NASA. So it's interesting to see how that might tie into the story. Perhaps this is an EASA plane or ESA plane that has been forced into a combat role during the wartime needs. And we see it's attacking what are presumably a pair of Osean destroyers, considering it's an Erusian airplane. Another fun fact, this appears to be in-engine footage because poppin'! Look, 1 second, no building there in the corner in the upper left, and then the next second, there's a little building there. So either Strange Reel has really fast working construction crews, or this is actual in-game footage, or in-engine at least. So that's sort of cool to see how good looking the game is, and hopefully they get some of the pop-in resolved as we get closer to release, which is apparently not going to be till next year, which makes us all very sad. But until then, we'll keep dissecting every little bit of Ace Combat 7 news that we get. I hope you enjoyed this video, everyone who watched. I hope you have a nice day. I tried to just kind of keep this limited to the relevant parts of the trailer. I didn't feel like I had to go over everything because honestly we've already seen or heard quite a bit of this information from other trailers in the game. Just wanted to kind of keep it limited to the new stuff. So anyway, like I said, thanks for watching. Drop a like if you feel like it, or don't, because whatever. I don't really care. Have a nice day.